Time, why you punish me like a train running off of the track? You wash away my tears. Time. I don't think those were the words, but I haven't sang that song in a long time. Christian here, Midnight Rider, wit and wisdom. I want to talk about my last ride. I thought I'd had some pretty irritating rides, and I think I'm fairly patient and very customer service oriented. But I went to Nebraska Furniture tonight at 8:40. I did get a text message, which I have told you before. If you're in a weird spot or in an apartment complex and something's weird, let me know. The best and only good part about this entire ride was that I was told that they were at the subway entrance on the other side of Nebraska Furniture Mart. That was awesome. That's where the good stops. So I pick up this woman holding a car seat with her kid. Don't get me wrong, I love kids. I have kids. I love my kids. I'm kind to kids. As a server, I treat kids just like anybody else. In fact, there's an old rule out there when it comes to customer service. Treat the kids like adults and adults like kids, and you will get along just fine. However, I pick these folks up in front of the door. I'm about to leave, and she goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, but we're waiting for two more." And the little girl starts basically screaming that we can't leave my daddy, can't leave my daddy. And apparently Junior is also in there with daddy. They were having some issues with their credit card, and it sounds like the lady at Nebraska Furniture Mart was having some issues as well. Well, I waited outside of Nebraska Furniture Mart after I picked them up, and she strapped the little girl in a car seat in the middle, covered up the other side's seatbelt, which is a whole nother thing that I'll get to in a minute. But they sat in the back, alternating between singing and, I don't know, just generally being a little irritating. I don't really know how to describe it. Maybe I'm not very patient tonight, but the little girl proceeded to eat the mints that I have back there. And hey, those are for you. They honestly are for you. That's why I have them. But they're not for your kid to eat an entire handful and throw every single wrapper on my floor. They're not. And they're not for the mom to say, "Stop eating those, you're going to rot your teeth." I can't have any of those because I don't have any teeth left that don't have cavities. And they're not for the kid to continue to eat them when mom says, don't eat them anymore. Well, we waited until about 8:57. So this is now, 17 minutes after I picked up mom and daughter out front and then had to pull in a parking space because people needed to get by. They come out, and when you order something from Nebraska Furniture Mart or buy it at the counter, you don't get to take it with you. You have to go to a receiving area and pick it up. So that's not okay. It's not okay to expect your Uber/Lyft driver to go pick up your item in receiving. You guys actually walk over there, pick up your item, and then call for your Uber. Because we got almost to the receiving area and got a phone call from Nebraska Furniture Mart, had to go back. The doors were locked because they were closed. So the security guard was nice enough to actually go out and let this guy in, who, mind you, used the word fuck about 17 times in the time that he was in my car for about a minute. 1 minute, 17 fucks. Not to mention, He's the same size as me. I'm not a small guy. I'm not ashamed to admit that. I could work on that a little bit more, and I am a little bit. But he couldn't get in my car. It was like a Chinese fire drill or kind of a joke. He'd put his butt in, and then he couldn't get his head in, and then he put his head in and then couldn't get his butt in. That went on for like a minute and a half. And then he finally got in. And the best part, we had to go back so he could get back out of the car. Couldn't get out of the car. And he's maybe a little bit taller than me, but it was sheer, just all you had to do was like just bend forward and you're in. I don't have that small of a car. I don't really know what the deal was there, but it was like, F this, F that. I can't get out of the goddamn car. And screaming at his kids. They're grounded, by the way. Both kids are grounded because they were so bad. And the example that's provided is just immaculate. I can't imagine why their kids are bad. But they were, not to mention, they were there to pick up a video game. And a video game console of some sort, and then 3 video games to go with it. This is an adult with 2 kids, one about to go into middle school, and he acted like a child. And lots of F's, lots of this, lots of telling his wife to shut up, telling his kids to shut up, telling them how effing bad they are, and how they're totally grounded. And the best part about that is every time he would say it, his daughter would cry. And then once she got calmed down, he would remind her again that she was grounded. So she would cry again. Over and over and over again. Well, he goes back into Nebraska Furniture Mart because they gave him the wrong paperwork or whatever. I'm not really sure why, honestly. He had no idea which dock he was supposed to go to. There is more than one dock when you buy something in Nebraska Furniture Mart. They do tell you what dock you're supposed to go to and circle it. Unless the person working at Nebraska Furniture Mart was equally as terrible as them. I do not complain about the people in my car. I do this because I need money, and that's why I let people in my car to give them rides. It's a mutual agreement. They need a ride, and I'm totally down for helping them with that, and I need to make a little bit of money. So I let them in my car and I take them somewhere. He gets out, finally gets a security guard to let him in. I can't imagine how that conversation went on. I'm guessing F was in every other word. But he comes out with his stuff. We go to the line while they scream at each other, semi-scream at me, and then scream at the lady through the machine that is asking us what our order number is and what kind of car we're driving. Then they're talking over each other. Junior is talking over them. The little girl wants to go home. The little girl is concerned that she's not going to get to play with the Barbie that they bought her because she's grounded. And it's time for Junior to go to sleep. Well, we pull up to A. We're there for way too long. Again, I'm not really getting paid that much for my time. I get paid for the mile. There is a small extra charge on how much time it takes if it takes longer, but in reality, I'm getting paid for the mile. I haven't even started the trip yet. It's telling me that I need to go somewhere else because we're not going to their house that they put in. They should have put it in as 2 stops if we had to go to the receiving area, and that's the way it works. You probably cost me at least another 50% of what your trip cost, if not double, 100%. Because on time that I spent with you guys, 45 minutes, we finally get the guy coming out, and he brings the game console. I open the trunk and he puts it in. He needs to see an ID. He needs to, I'm sure they told him when he bought that, he'll need to show his ID, and here's your dock that you have to go to, and blah, blah, blah. But they don't have the 3 games that he's supposed to have. So he starts yelling at the guy there. And that's fantastic. And he says, he goes, settle down. I'm going to go get your games. Because basically that's how you had to talk to these folks, because they were basically children. And he goes back in to get his stuff, the rest of the stuff for the people, and they proceed to scream at each other and tell their kids they're grounded and just scream, effing shut up. You guys are effing horrible. You're never going to the store with us again. I can't believe we brought you. Blah, 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 blah. Just mean, nasty, not very nice to each other. I haven't even discussed that there was not a pleasant smell, or there was an odor that was undesirable. I don't know if it was BO or what it was, but it was not good. I'm guessing the dad probably just plays video games all the time. Hopefully has a job. Not really sure about that. But then finally the guy comes out with the 3 games. He has to show he would have to show his ID again, but this guy didn't want to deal with any of that. Signs the second document, and we're going now. As we start to pull out, mind you, we sat in that car for a really long time. And Junior says, I don't have a seatbelt. And I'm like, the seatbelt possibly underneath the car seat? Possibly. They fought about that for a little bit. They even considered buckling. Junior said it's okay, I don't need to be buckled. Dad said it's okay, he doesn't need to be buckled. And we're driving 16 minutes away with their children that are not buckled in my car that I'm responsible for them. I asked several times if I could pull over. Nope, it's fine. I wanted to pull over. I probably should have said, no, I'm pulling over and you're going to buckle your kids, because that's the way this works. But I didn't. We finally drive to where they live while they cursed at each other, and I finally turned the music up. He told me he would rather have the window down because it's more pleasant than the air, but I did not want that. It's hot outside. So I rolled the windows up when we left there. As I left them down for him while we were stopped, but I'm not driving down the road with the windows up and their children eating handfuls of mint. Pretty much gone, by the way. And my little cup holder set was back here. It was full. Like, carry another package that, I don't get paid for these mints. These mints are my customer service. When your dinner's over, you get a mint, so on and so forth. You've had too much to drink, you get a mint when I pick you up. Anyway, I pull up to their place. They walk away. They open the trunk, or I open the trunk, they get their game, and just keep walking. They leave their son to get the car seat out of the car. And just as soon as he lifts it up, because I'm already out, because I know I got to clean up wrappers. I'm out of the car, and as soon as he lifts up the car seat, guess what's under there? The buckle for the middle seat, because she was buckled into the passenger seat. Anyway, rude, walked away, didn't say thank you. Didn't tell their kids to pick up their trash. Nothing. I get out of my car and I sit in front of their driveway as they're walking in, cleaning up their children's wrappers. And I can just smell my back seat, and it is really unpleasant. So I grab the wrappers, throw them away in their trash can that's on the curb. Looking up and down the street, they're the only trash can that's on the curb. So they didn't bring in their trash cans when everybody else did. Proves that they are probably not very, I don't know. I'm guessing their house is not very tidy either. That's a really not very nice judgment, but if you were in the car, you would totally agree with me. I then turn off my ability to get another ride because I have to go clean my car. So I drive to Hy-Vee gas station. Thank you very much, by the way. Grab some paper towels, get some sanitizer cleaner, along with some glass cleaner, and I clean the front passenger seat and the back passenger seat because he sat in both of them, and he was the culprit of the smell, I believe. I got me a coffee and went to the restroom because I'm killing two birds with one stone, and I've already lost enough money on this trip. And I turned my video on to be able to tell you guys how much fun that was. So, take care of your kids. Don't cuss at them. Don't tell them how fucking horrible they are. You're just fucking horrible and you're grounded. What are we grounded from, Dad? What do you mean? You're fucking grounded. But what are we grounded from? TV? Everything. Everything. You know who should be grounded? Mom and Dad. This has been Midnight Rider with Christian. A little wit and wisdom for you. I know it's been a while. I miss you too. Have a great night. Peace out, Girl Scout.